What's going on, everyone? Welcome to this episode of Home Built Workshop. Today, we've got something a little bit different in store for you. I got a helper here in the shop. So it's Today with Hayley. What are we working on today?
Fixing a bridge.
We're fixing a bridge. Today's project is not necessarily going to be a how-to, but it is more like a day in the life of. So stick around. Hayley here is an avid horseback rider. She does lots of different events and just enjoys riding around. Well, one of the obstacles that we have here is a bridge. Now, it's not really a bridge over a stream or a creek or anything. It's merely an obstacle that you ride up to and step on and ride across with the horse. Well, our poor bridge has succumbed to the elements. It's no longer safe for riding a horse over as the boards have deteriorated. So our project today is to fix that dude up so that she's got a bridge to ride over. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna do a little bit of work together, spend some time together taking this thing apart. We've got some new materials that we're gonna put in place and see how far along we can get. We'll see if we can't at least get this thing back up to riding standards so that it's safe to ride across. You ready?
I guess.
So let's grab our tools of destruction so that we can tear this old bridge apart. Tools of destruction, you like that?
I guess. Hammer. Hammer. Pry bar. Another pry bar. Let's get to work. Dad can grab his own tools.
Did you see that? She's making me carry my own tools.
Our first order of business is going to be really just to remove these old boards. These things are in pretty rough shape, so we don't really know what to expect. There's also about 8,000 nails holding these old boards on. We're going to need to be really careful and keep track of all of these nails.
Mainly because horses, if they get a nail in their foot, can hurt them really bad.
Oh yeah. Claw hammer.
We struggled a little bit getting the first board off, but once we removed that, we were able to move a little bit quicker.
We already loosened this one right here, so we have no choice but to go at least to here.
Even with the underlying 4x4s to use for leverage, this process still took a fair bit of time. Most of that was because, well, it was super windy this day, and we were trying to be extra careful with the nails.
Look what we found.
Sorry, bees, not today.
Yeah. Oh well. Taking the wood to the dumpster. Then we're gonna take some measurements. So, yeah.
All right, how wide do we need to make it, kiddo?
Let's see. About 50 inches.
Yeah, 50 will work.
Okay. 50 it is then. This is fun. These are the boards we're gonna use. These ones right here. There's 4 of them. So, yeah.
I'm gonna take one over and we can start cutting it.
Here we go. Set it on this big thing. This is one of the long 4 boards that we have.
All right, where's your tape?
I don't know.
Tape.
Who had it?
Oh. We're gonna come out, put a mark at 50. Now use your speed square. We're going to draw a straight line. Good. Now we cut.
Now, at the beginning of this project, I thought these 4 2x10s were going to be plenty. I figured we'd be able to get 3 pieces out of them, but it turns out we could only get 2. So that means we're not going to have quite enough lumber to complete this entire bridge today.
So our GoPro battery just died. We had to go get a new battery. And we put a different microphone on here with more of a windscreen. So maybe it'll help cut down some of the wind noise.
Because it's really windy today, so holy crap. Hello, we're building you a new bridge. Yeah, we're building a new bridge. Good boy. Let's go see how these boards fit. Let's see. Looking good. I feel like we only need one more.
So we can probably pull off one more of these, but we'll start with screwing these down and then we'll cut the rest and see how far we need to go.
For screws. Let's go cut some more boards.
That was weird. Check it out.
Just the ring.
Right down the center of the board. I was just binding up. That was like the dead center of the tree right there. You don't have to hold it quite so close. Perfectly quarter sawn. Quarter sawn is when the grain goes exactly 90 degrees to the face. That's kind of cool. I wonder if that's why it was binding. Right down the middle.
Let's see how far this takes us. We're gonna see how far this takes us, and if we need, cut some more. Ah!
Ultimately, we're going to need to replace this entire top, and that was kind of the plan going into this one, but we just didn't have as much material as we thought. So right now we're just trying to get rid of the worst ones. The boards down at this other end are sort of okay for now. I don't think they're as crumbly as the others, so we're just going to get as far as we can so that this is usable, and then we'll get some more lumber and finish this up another time.
So we decided we had enough room to pull 2 more boards off the top and replace them with the newer boards. So that's what we're doing right now. We're pulling these boards off the top and we're gonna replace them.
Really? I mean, this is like totally rotted, but yet it won't come off. Of course, there's like, look at, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nails in there, maybe more, who knows?
There might have been more back then.
Good grief.
After a little bit more cleanup, I think we're ready to install the final boards. Looks like the gap we're left with is a little too narrow for 2 boards and too wide for 1. We're gonna have to get a little bit creative.
We only possibly have room for 1. Possibly. We don't know.
Hayley decided it would be a good idea if we tried out our wireless microphone setups, and I think it's a great idea. So hopefully everything sounds good. We got the little fuzzy windscreen things. Thought maybe that it would help out with the wind noise. So
Yep.
we'll see how everything sounds. Now I think we're running into a little bit of a tricky spot here. We have 1 board left, and our gap is a little bit less than the one board. If we pull off this other board, I don't have another one to put in its place yet.
We may just have to set this.
So,
That board right there. Just like leave it somewhere where it won't blow away. I don't think it's gonna blow away, but.
well, it won't blow away, but I don't want to leave that gap there. I want you to be able to use this at least.
And who knows, we might have to trim it down anyways.
I'm thinking if we can trim this old one down. We'll have to string an extension cord out here, but what we'll do is we'll just mark this out, and we could just run the saw down along this board here.
Dado, one problem, you might hit the bottom, which means we'll only have a half a bridge.
Well, we'll just we won't set the blade very deep. We can adjust that. We'll make it so it just cuts through this old crusty board. That way we don't trim down the good new board. I want to leave that. It's gonna be a little tricky. We got to string that extension cord out, but
Yep.
there's another reason to get a cordless circular saw.
Looks like we didn't cut the board below, which is good. So we didn't cut anything other than this piece of wood right here.
Look at that. Patrick approves. Did you hear him?
He has approved. Now?
Hey, that fits pretty good.
Yeah.
Almost like we meant to do that.
Oh yeah, hey. So it looks like it fit perfectly. We did have to hammer it in just a little, but it does fit. And honestly, you probably don't have to screw it in, but we're going to, just in case anything happens. And we're also going to finish screwing this board right here in. So yeah, let's do that. Here is the finishing product. Thanks for coming along with the ride.
Well, that's a wrap on this project. 1, we didn't have enough wood. Number 2, we ran out of screws, but this thing's solid enough right now and safe enough to be put to work for the time being. We're gonna get some more materials and we'll revisit this project a little bit later on and get it finished up. You ready to put this thing to work?
Yeah, I guess.
It's time to try it out and get to practicing. Thanks a lot for watching, and thank you, Hayley, for helping me out. This was fun. Always my pleasure to finish another project. And now it's time for this bridge to get to work. So would you say it's a success?
Yes. For now.
Patrick, is it a success? He's like, huh? Right on.